All right, we back. What That Mouth Do Part 2, Talking Fresh podcast. I'm going to get a few shout outs real quick, a little promo. We're going to start off with Fix-A-Pick Graphics. You can find us on Instagram, FIXERPIC. That's logo design, t-shirt design, flyer design, anything that you need to help manipulate people into buying into your bullshit, we got you. All right, we can also promote Love Minotti. Check out Ridiculous Row. You can follow him on Instagram at Row90210. Check out 611 Beauty on Instagram. Lipcandy.l.it. Oh, what the fuck? Hold on. Lip Candy. That's KANDIL.L.C. So, Lip Candy with a K, basically. Who else? I guess that's it. All right, well, we starting off. We got Miss Williams in the building again. We're going to do a follow-up show from episode 1, What That Mouth Do, and we're going to do part 2. And we're going to let her take off because I don't know shit about the dental industry. I just go off what she tells me, and I keep my mouth together based off her. So you got the flow.
All right. So, hello, everyone. Just kind of piggybacking off the last show. I listened to it again and kind of got some points to cover with this podcast. So, the first thing I want to go over is the different roles in the dental team. A lot of people come in and they don't really know who does what. They don't really know what a dental hygienist is or what a dental assistant is. So I'll kind of explain a little bit. So on the dental team, you pretty much have 3 roles. You have the dentist, the dental hygienist, and a dental assistant. So my basic way of explaining it to patients when they ask is dentist deals with teeth, the hygienist deals with gums, and we overlap in both of those areas. And the assistant basically helps the dentist do what he has to do, whether he's doing fillings, he's doing root canal. They sterilize the tools so that they're clean for the next patients and whatnot. So
So the assistant is like a nurse.
The hygienist is more like a nurse.
Oh, all right. Whatever.
So you have the only 2 people that are licensed dental professionals are the dentist and the hygienist. We have to get a license through the state, whatever state you want to practice in. You have to go and get a license from that state. An assistant, they can become an assistant either from on-the-job training, or they can go to a school and take the program courses, and they become they get a certificate. So that's one thing, just kind of cover. And also some of the most common things I see in my chair. I've been practicing professionally for a couple months now, but from surprisingly, some of the worst smells I've seen was while I was in school. So that was pretty interesting. And I think the logic behind that is in school, we kind of come across people who don't have insurance, so they don't go to the dentist on a regular basis. They don't have a regular dentist, so they come to the school like they haven't been to the dentist in 10 or 15 years, so they come to the school, and now we get to see pretty much the result of not going to the dentist for 10 years. Whereas in office, you have people, they've been coming to the same dentist for 10 or 15 years. They come every 6 months, every 4 months, so it's not as bad. But some of the most common things I see in my chair is I'll go over 4. The first is gingivitis, which I'm pretty sure you've all heard that term.
What is gingivitis?
Gingivitis. So any itis is.
I thought that was the stuff you put in a smoothie.
Oh, I wouldn't put that in my smoothie.
Gingivitis.
Gingivitis. So gingivitis is basically the early stage of gum disease. So if you floss and brush your teeth and your gums bleed, or you bite into something crunchy or something and your gums bleed, or your gums are a little swollen, or they're tender and sensitive, that's a sign of gingivitis. Healthy gums don't bleed. So just like if you woke up and your eyes were bleeding or your ear was bleeding, I'm sure you would go to the doctor and get that fixed. The same thing goes with your mouth. Healthy tissues don't bleed. The second thing I mostly see is periodontitis.
Periodontitis?
Yes.
That ain't an Indian name?
No.
Oh.
So periodontitis is a more aggressive form of gum disease. That's when you have some pockets. When you guys go to the dentist and we take our what's called a probe, and that helps us measure your pockets. So if you have pockets that are kind of deep, so let's say a couple millimeters deep, that means there's pretty much a space for bacteria, tartar, plaque, food, all that stuff to sit in, hang around, fester, and irritate the gums. It irritates the bone that holds the actual tooth in place. And over time, if nothing's done, the end result of periodontal disease is pretty much your teeth fall out because there's no bone to hold the teeth in. The bacteria has caused that bone to basically break down, and there's nothing there to hold those teeth in. So that's why it's good to keep up on your oral health. Going to your dentist on a regular basis.
What is regular basis?
A regular basis is at least twice a year. So most people's insurance cover 2 cleanings a year if you have insurance.
So what's the average cost if you don't have insurance?
If you don't have insurance, it varies from office to office. But on average, just for a basic cleaning, it's going to run you anywhere between $80 and $100, depending on the office. If you come in and we measure your pockets, which we refer to with the periodontal disease, then you will need what's called a deep cleaning. So a basic cleaning gets everything that's above the gums. So everything that I, as a hygienist, can see with my eyes. I see it, I can feel it with my instruments, so we go in and clean it. If you have pockets, you need what's called a deep cleaning. And a deep cleaning gets everything that's under the gums, so things we can't see. So that's important if you need a deep cleaning to go ahead and do that, because it helps the gums from getting any worse than what they are.
So, all right, so you say twice a year. What's the most you can clean your teeth?
Well, we have 3 types of recall appointments. So regular appointments is if you're pretty good with your oral health, you brush like you're supposed to, you're flossing, you don't have any bad tissues, we'll see you every 6 months. If you come in and you have periodontal disease, where you have the pockets and a lot of bleeding and things like that, we'll see you either every 3 or 4 months. So instead of coming twice a year, you'll come 3 or 4 times a year. Okay,
that ain't bad.
The other thing I see a lot is cavities, of course, duh. And we kind of touched on that on the last episode, or the first episode, about cavities. If you have a hole in your tooth, you got a cavity.
What's
Brown.
going back to that? Like, how can people, like, what's some home remedies or some ways you can know that you got cavities?
Basically, looking at your teeth, examining your teeth, looking for dark spots, brown spots on your teeth, or holes in your teeth, whether they hurt or not. If they don't hurt, that's a good sign that it hasn't reached down into the nerve yet. So when you have a cavity, and you do nothing about it, it's going to get bigger. It's not going to just be that same small cavity forever. It's going to get bigger if you do nothing about it. If you have a hole in your tooth and it hurts, you have a toothache, that's probably a sign that the decay has reached your nerve, and that's where root canal comes into play. You got to get a root canal now, which is where they pretty much go in, take the nerve out of the tooth, fill the roots, then give you a crown. A long process that could be avoided if you regularly visit the dentist and get a filling when they tell you to get a filling.
What's halitosis?
Halitosis is bad breath.
A lot of bitches got halitosis. Hallelujah.
And most bad breath comes from...
I'm so tired.
most bad breath comes from people not brushing their tongue. A lot of people don't brush their tongue, and what happens is that bacteria accumulates on your tongue.
So what happens when you eat ass and don't brush your tongue?
It depends on how clean they are, I suppose, whether you burn or not. But brushing your tongue, using a mouth rinse. A lot of people don't use a mouth rinse, which is one thing I was going to go over a little later. But since we're on that topic, using a mouth rinse lowers the bacteria load in the mouth. It kills those germs.
Is mouth rinse the same as mouthwash?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mouth rinse, mouthwash.
Okay, go ahead. My bad.
And when you do use that mouth rinse, gargle, get it to the back of the throat, because some people got breath that come from the back of the throat, and that's real stank. So
what you got? You got back of the throat, bro?
Morning breath. You know, everybody got morning breath.
So how many times should you brush your teeth in the morning?
Once. One time for 2 minutes.
Okay. What about during the day?
Ideally, you should brush after every meal, but realistically, most people brush like once a day. But for the most part, twice a day. Brush in the morning, brush at night before you go to bed, so that all that food and plaque that's accumulated all day isn't just sitting in your mouth for the next 7 to 8 hours while you're sleeping.
Can you have a diet and not brush your teeth? Like, can you have a good diet? So what about the people that go natural?
They can still go natural. The thing is, as soon as we are done brushing our teeth, our body starts to make plaque again. It's inevitable. It doesn't matter what you eat. It's just it's a physiological process.
Oh.
Our mouth makes plaque, and we eat food. Whatever you eat, it's going to, whatever you eat, the bacteria in your mouth also eats. So put it like that. The bacteria in our mouths loves carbs. We went over that too. Carbs, sugar. Sugar is carbs. Carbs is sugar. At the end of the day. So if you eat a lot of like breads and macaronis, and if you snack a lot during the day, potato chips, stuff like that, then you'll have a high level of carbs that you're exposing your mouth to.
So what are some signs that you've been eating too much pussy?
You know what? That's funny that you asked me that, because I've seen some dykes in my chair, a couple of dykes, and when I tell you, dykes always have like horrible hygiene. I don't know what it is.
Like what?
Like pretty much gum issues. They have a lot of cavities. I don't know what it is about dykes and
so you can't eat pussy? Oh shit.
You can, but I don't know what kind of pussy they eating.
Oh, I'm so tired.
These hoes don't drink water these days.
So but they got the acidic mouth.
Yeah. The acidic is
acidic mouth.
That's actually the right word to use, acidic.
I'm a hygienist. I know these things.
Yeah, and the fourth most common thing I see is missing teeth.
Snag a puss.
Not so much in the front, missing teeth in the back.
Hey, you know, a bitch said that Miss Pat said her daughter been eating so much pussy, she missing a tooth now. It's like her teeth started falling out.
Yeah, there's probably zero scientific evidence for that correlation. Her daughter probably just doesn't brush her fucking teeth like she's supposed to. Probably doesn't floss. Maybe doesn't go to the dentist as often as she should. Probably doesn't use a mouth rinse. Probably doesn't chew the right kind of gum.
How can you bypass the dentist? Like, is it like, I feel like a lot of that shit be scamming. Like, you don't need to come every visit they tell you to come.
So my thoughts on that.
I know I sound so sleepy right now. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah, you sound real sleepy right now. But
answer the question, goddammit.
my thoughts on that are people need to. Most people see the hygienist more than they see the dentist, and you need to see the hygienist more so than see the dentist. Hygienist maintains your oral health, so we clean your teeth, which removes the bacteria from your mouth that's going to irritate your gums, and also that may cause cavities on your teeth. So everyone that comes to the dental office will see the hygienist because everyone needs their teeth cleaned. Everyone that comes to a dental office won't necessarily go see the dentist because everyone doesn't need a filling. Everyone doesn't need a crown. Everyone doesn't need surgeries. X-rays, the hygienists, we do X-rays. The assistants do X-rays for the dentist mostly. But when I see patients in my chair, I do X-rays. I examine their teeth. I examine their gums, their tongue, their throat, their cheeks, their lips, pretty much their head and neck to look for any abnormalities. So pretty much everyone needs to see a hygienist at some point in their life. Not everyone needs to go sit in the dental chair on the dentist side and get a filling, things like that. But missing teeth. So a lot of people are missing teeth, and not, like I said, not so much in the front, but in the back, they're missing teeth. Most people think it's not a big deal because nobody can see the back, right? When you smile, no one knows you're missing teeth in the back. Mm-hmm. But it does have an effect on, one, how your face shapes. When people are missing a lot of teeth, their cheeks will tend to will suck in, or their lips will suck in because there's no structure to hold those.
The sour jaw.
Yeah, pretty much. You got the sour jaw.
Patch Kid mouth.
Or like when you see
crybaby mouth.
See rockets, like when they be missing their bottom teeth and their top teeth.
Lollipop mouth.
So.
My bad.
Yeah, teeth play a large role in in the structure of your face, and also it has to do with nutrition. If you don't have your back teeth, so all of our teeth have a purpose. Mm-hmm. Our back teeth grind food; it breaks down food. Our front teeth cuts food, so we bite with our front. We bite, and our canines, our dog teeth, they tear and rip food. So when you're missing your back teeth, people would start chewing on their front teeth. And when they start chewing on their front teeth, that's a lot of pressure and pounds and force being put on teeth that aren't supposed to have that kind of pressure on it. So what happens is their front teeth will start to get weaker. They can chip. They'll have these little fractures in it, which makes it easier for those teeth to get cavities and whatnot. So that's why it's really important, if you are missing back teeth, to replace them. There's different ways to replace teeth, whether it's a bridge or an implant, or crowns, things like that. Yeah. And another thing about that, when I see people come sit in my chair and they have a tooth that's hurting them because the decay has gotten so deep, they will ask the dentist to just take the tooth out. And that's not a good idea. Most dentists will try to save your natural tooth before they just pull it out. You don't really want to go the route of taking your tooth out and then having to replace it with something. Just try to keep your natural teeth as long as you can. If you need a root canal, just suck it up and get it versus taking your whole tooth out. You're probably going to regret it later in life.
How can you buy some time in between dentist visits? Like, what are some home remedies or solutions? Like maybe baking soda or rinsing once a day with peroxide. Like what?
Some home solutions. Just staying on top of your oral care. You can use those types of things. It's just a matter of using it correctly and often. Like I tell my patients, when it comes to your oral health, 80% is on you and 20% is on us, because we see you every couple of months. You see your mouth every single day. So if you're not flossing every day, brushing twice a day, using a mouth rinse, then you're putting yourself at risk. There's only so much we can do to help you. You just have to stay on top of it at home. Now, there's some different natural things that you can do. A lot of it doesn't have a lot of research behind it to say this definitely for sure works. It's just more so people posting stories or blogs or something saying that this worked for them.
Is sperm really good for your teeth for women?
Not that I know of.
Oh.
Sperm, if I recall, has a lot of protein in it, and your teeth don't need protein. Now, your gums need protein because it helps build the structures of tissues in general. But I don't think
so. You
sperm.
Saying your gums are better with sperm on it?
I don't think that, to be honest. And I'm pretty sure there's zero research on that too. But yeah, like he was saying, you can use a baking soda. And as far as a mouth rinse, you can use salt water and peroxide, which is something that works very, very well as far as killing germs and bacteria that's in the mouth. And it's natural. You have those products home.
And how long?
Just don't swallow it. How long? For 30 seconds. You want to rinse for a good 30 seconds. A lot of people will put it in their mouth, swish around for 5 seconds and spit it out, and then turn around and rinse out
I do that.
the stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, for one, you didn't do it long enough, because the peroxide and the salt and water, it didn't have enough contact time with the bacteria. So you're not killing anything by doing that. And then when you turn around and rinse your mouth out, you're rinsing out the rest of what's there. So you really just wasted your time with rinsing. So that's why you rinse for 30 seconds and you don't eat, drink, or rinse for at least 20 to 30 minutes after that, because you want to let that stuff sit in there and really work. You can use a baking soda, but you don't want to use that every single day, because baking soda is very abrasive. It's very rough. So using it every day can damage your gums and your teeth. So maybe you can cut that down to maybe once or twice a week versus every single day. You got some natural lines out there as far as brands. You got Tom's. They make toothpaste, mouth rinse, probably gum, maybe floss. You have Dental Herb Company. Yeah, they make toothpaste, things of that nature. So there's some natural routes to go as far as...
or just go on Instagram and just hashtag natural toothpaste and you'll find all kind of shit.
Yeah, you'll find recipes. A lot of people use coconut oil and other things to brush your teeth. There's this phenomenon called oil pulling, where people rinse with different oils, but that rinse is not 20 seconds. It's more like 20 minutes. Now, I don't know how many people can hold something in their mouth for 20 to 30 minutes. But that's what that is. There's not a lot of scientific evidence behind that, but it seems like it works for a lot of people based on what I've read and seen. So, some other things to go over. So, a corporate dentist versus a private dentist. Right now, I'm working in private practice, which is what I prefer. Working with for one, well, I won't really go into the working part of it, but being a patient. Being a patient at a corporate dentist, I've had a lot of people come in from corporate with complaints of they felt like they were being overcharged, or they felt like the dentist was trying to do things that they didn't need, or they felt like the hygienist didn't clean their teeth as good, and they were in a rush. And a lot of times those things do happen because corporate dentistry is very focused on production, profit, money, less time, get them in, get them out. So when you do go to a corporate dentist, yes, you may spend a little less on your services, but like the saying goes, you get what you pay for. You spend less, and they spend less time with you. They don't really, I guess they don't really see you as like a one-on-one thing. You're more like a, you're a number. Yeah, you're almost like a number. Like, we get you in, do what we got to do, get you out. In a private practice, you have a little more freedom as far as time that you spend with the patient. I talk to all my patients, especially if they ask me questions. I encourage them to ask me questions. When they do ask, that means that they actually care. So when they show me that they care, I'm all for it. I'll tell you as much as I know. But yeah, just the difference between corporate and private, just the mainly the amount of time that gets spent on you, and also the fact that you're seen more as a person, almost like family if you've been at the practice for years, versus being seen as a number and a get you in, get you out. And personalized care. So dentistry is what's called a practice, and just like in any other medical field, it's a practice. So
you around here practicing on people's mouth.
Yeah, everything
shit.
is a practice, because everyone that sits in your chair is different. No two mouths are alike. They can be very, very similar, but no two mouths are alike. So when someone sits in my chair, especially if it's a new patient, I don't know what the hell I'm going to get. I don't know if...
Nothing wrong.
I don't know if they have... I've had people sit in my chair who smoked cigarettes for 30 years, haven't been to the dentist in 10 years, so they literally have teeth that are loose that are about to fall out.
Nothing wrong.
So, I mean, you just never know. You have someone who comes in, they might have a lesion that looks like it's cancer. So now you got to go get the dentist to come over and get a second opinion and test that and all that. So it's like you never know what you're going to have in the medical field, because everyone is so different. So that's why it's important when you do go see your hygienist to ask them questions, so that you can get a more personalized care, so that they can recommend products for you, whether it's a certain mouth rinse, a certain toothpaste, a certain toothbrush, certain gums that are chewing gums that are good for you. And so yeah, just ask questions, man. If you don't know, or if you're afraid, just ask questions. Most hygienists are very friendly. They will talk to you. Trust me, they'll talk to you a lot, even though their hands are in your mouth and you can't really talk back. But just ask questions, man. And if they don't know, hopefully they have the sense to either look it up or go ask another hygienist or ask the dentist, so they can give you the knowledge.
Oh, okay. Well, like I said, I was going to let you just have the flow. Because I didn't have too many questions, and quite frankly, you see a nigga is half dead over here. But I just want to wrap it up by saying if the last 5 times you had sex and you keep getting hit from the back, he never want to kiss you or fuck you on your back, you might want to go make an appointment.